Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you give me a follow on X at Green_Jericho and like and subscribe to my new channel, Green's House. Also, peruse the description box for all the information for my next two guests, the founders of C60 EVO, ESS60. I'm talking about Patty Greer. I'm talking about Chris Burris. So as soon as we are done here, don't cut away now in the middle of this wonderful conversation we're about to have. But when we're done, get to the comment section. All the links will be there to the website so you can get your hands on this wonderful product that has woven itself into my daily routine. I'll explain a little more about that, but let's get to it. Let's get to the people you came here to see. Patty, hello. Chris, how are you?
Hey there.
Marco, hello.
How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Super good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Same here, and I like to think your guys' great products have something to do with that. Now, as I just mentioned, your guys, the C60 products are a part of my daily routine. By that, I mean they're on our bathroom counter by our sinks. Every morning, my wife gets up before me. Every morning I go out, I have this cup right here. The green screen is kind of messing it up, but I have that cup, a little iced coffee, a little oat milk in there. And on top of that cup are 3 of the olive oil capsules, I guess you would call them, gels, sitting on top of my cup. It's just what I do. I come in the kitchen, I grab them, I take them, chase them with a little iced coffee, I have something to eat after. And when you do that, and I learned that from having my YouTube channel, people would tell me, Jericho, you're part of my drive home. Or when I get home, I do this and I have you on, you and 2 or 3 other people. I'm in their top 3, their top 5 of who they listen to every day. And once you become a part of someone's routine, that means you have something good. That means you have a great product because you're welcoming it into your life. You get up and brush your teeth, you take your C60 EVO and whatnot, or whichever ones they're taking. And as I mentioned that, I remembered, thank you guys for the tangerine body cream. So after the last interview, my wife saw it and said, what's this I'm hearing about some tangerine body cream? So you guys sent that quick, fast, in a hurry. I thank you for that. There it is right there. And she also had me screenshot the other products that are behind you, Chris, and send them to my people who got in touch with your people so I can get another supply, because my wife and my daughter are serious about it. So I know that was a lot to say, but it needed to be said, and I mean it. So one of the things we were talking about off camera, as they say in the biz, is the amount of ingredients that go into these products. Whatever you grab off the shelf, no matter what it's for, it's a topical agent, it's a type of medication, a supplement, a food, you turn it over. And I didn't start doing this until I had kids, because you don't really care about yourself until there are other people who care about you caring about yourself. So flipping over these labels, and I'm looking at all of these things, and it's just, to say it's a paragraph is putting it lightly. It's this huge list of things. You don't know what they mean. You can hardly pronounce them. And we often think, well, that's just in food. But no, these bad things like dyes, red 40 and blue 3 and yellow 7 and all these things, they're in everything. They're in your dish soap. They're in anything you put inside your body. Chances are that stuff is in it. So another thing that I like about your products that we can add to the list is the short list of ingredients. So please kind of explain how you do that. How come you can give us a great product with a short list of ingredients, but all of these household names are filled with garbage?
So I wish, and I'm assuming the question is kind of thrown in my direction as kind of the scientist, and we provided the material in the original study. I really wish that I could say I was some sort of genius who went back in the lab and said, I'm going to put 2 simple ingredients together and it's going to change how people feel, change how people have focus, change how people have energy, change how people actually sleep, right? Which sleep is so good for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. I wish that I could say I went back in a lab and did that. The reality is I've just been manufacturing this molecule. So if you're watching, you see I'm holding a model of a molecule. If you're just listening, imagine a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. So it's a spherical molecule of 60 carbon atoms. We call it ESS 60. ESS stands for elemental safe spheres. I've been manufacturing that molecule since 1991. It was discovered in 85. The guys who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in 96. So before they even won the Nobel Prize, my lab and my business partner and I were manufacturing this molecule. Molecule's amazing, right? Does all sorts of amazing industrial things. And they thought for various reasons, well, actually really one specific reason, one of the shapes on the exterior of this soccer ball shaped molecule is reminiscent of benzene, very useful in our society. We don't have plastics without benzene, but when it's on its own, it's actually toxic and known to be a carcinogen. And so they assumed this ESS 60 molecule would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being, actually my lab provided that material. We didn't know what journey we were on when we're providing it to this toxicity study. And we're actually mentioned in the result, and the result is phenomenal. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case, it was Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So the single longest longevity experimental result in history on mammals in history is because of a molecule that my lab has been manufacturing since 1991, and we provided the material for that original study. Even though that came out in mid 2012, my business partner and I were happy-go-lucky, if there is such a thing, carbon nanomaterial scientists, and we were happy delivering commercial quantities of carbon nanomaterials to research institutions so they could put it in inks and batteries and tires and photocells and tell the world how it makes better inks, batteries, tires, and photocells. We were very content in that position. And when this paper was published, we looked at it and we're like, well, this is, obviously there's some opportunity here, but we didn't really want to be in the supplement market. I think, you probably get approached by supplements regularly, right? And you're like, yeah, the supplement market, it makes me a little uneasy. I just don't know. In fact, I found a paper that said, so the researchers purchased supplements off the market, and the paper they published said 50% of the supplements they purchased didn't have in them what they said they had in them, right? So this is, we'll call it a challenged industry. And my business partner and I were like, we don't want to be in that industry. It's very different than dealing with research institutions like MIT or Naval Aeronautical Weapons Station. Like we were dealing with the DoD, like we're literally dealing with the top research organizations on the planet. And then somebody, actually Patty was a big driver of this, started talking about all the benefits they were getting taking the product on a daily basis. And our phone changed from ringing twice a week to 10 times a day. And at that point, Robert and I were like, okay, well, this is, yes, we're happy-go-lucky carbon nanomaterial scientists, but we're also entrepreneurs. This is some sort of entrepreneur opportunity beyond what we had thought it was ever going to be. And that's what threw me into this market. So I'm not some genius who went back into a lab and created this amazing product. It really just landed in my lap. And I'm so lucky every day. And I'm just trying to be a good shepherd to this research that's sitting out there, sharing that research with people. And, I get to reap the benefit of people sharing their amazing testimonials that they experience when they're taking our product on a daily basis.
And speaking of the testimonials, Patty, this is where I wanted you to kind of kick us off for this one, because your greatest testimonial, I think, is you sitting here with Chris after having trying the product, going through what you went through, and seeing and getting so much from this product that you became a part of it. So kind of let us know, how did that start? I mean, what was the moment like before you stumbled upon this? And then, how was that eureka moment where you're like, this is so beneficial that I need to be a part of it?
Thank you. You can see behind me a couple of weird little trophies. Um, these little alien figures with a movie camera on their shoulder. I used to be in the UFO field. I won a lot of awards for making films. And back then, I was very green. I had no idea that these organizations didn't want us to tell the truth. So I had some ridiculous lessons as an innocent green minded, like so green I didn't understand that there were agencies didn't want the truth out, not green world moving forward. um, but I was telling the truth about crop circles because I had been in 100 of them. I had been in the lab, and the science is incredible because it can help us save the food supply. So I was dissecting all these crop circle images and the information that they brought, and people started attacking me on a physical level that was real serious. So I had two attempts on my life in the last 7 years that took me out almost. But here I am, and I'm on round three. I called it round two, but I guess round three because, um, yeah. So I was hit with a directed energy weapon in 2017 and went down hard on the marble floor at an airport. And I don't even know, I remember pretty much a lot of it, but very intense for somebody who had no idea what was that I was doing something so important. That's what I call it now. I didn't do anything wrong other than tell the truth. And now we know that telling the truth in times of universal deceit is a revolutionary act. And that was the hack on my website that was just slathered across it in 2013. So I've been at this for a long time. But when somebody, I realized today it was two different hippie guys in Boulder that handed me a cheap version of Chris's formula, and in an unlabeled bottle, and they mixed it in their garage or basement. And it was my first time trying the carbon fullerene, the ESS 60. Back then it was just C60, and it just blew my mind. And so I realized that I was going to start coming back, and I never let go mentally. But every bit of this that I kept taking every day, um, I was absolutely amazed. So I contacted Chris and Robert. We had been talking for other reasons, mainly because I was introduced to the product. And when they realized that I was the big mouth on the air going, oh my God, I'm still here, and I'm going to be here in 10 years because I'm on this product. And, the test results were only their lab. So I realized that making UFO movies is way too dangerous unless you say, oh, the crop circles are all made by those two old guys, and then everybody will cover us if we say they're all fake, made by men, and act stupid. Then I could be on TV. But that's not going to be happening this life. So what a blessing that this was brought to me and that I met Chris. And when I talked to him on the phone for the final time before we became partners, I said, okay, I've got the audience, you've got the lab, let's do this. And they were selling all this industrial grade, like he said, for all those industrial purposes. And I said, let's be partners and bring it for people and create all these, and they didn't realize it was even going to be tangerine body cream. There are a bunch of guys in a lab doing industrial stuff for tires and photocells. So they've come a long way. I have come a long way. And we founded C60 EVO. And the word itself, the EVO, is the evolution of the C60 industry because Chris and Robert created it in 1991 before anybody was really knowing about it. Then it won the Nobel Prize, and they were the only real lab. And I think pretty much in America, they're the only real labs still, but there might be garage and basement labs, little labs, but they flew me down and we became partners instantly with the new company. But when I saw their lab after visiting a couple of others, I just threw me back. And there's this huge reactor, which is a metal machine, thousands of pounds, I'm guessing, easily, and it burns graphite rods at the heat of the sun. It was designed by Chris and Robert when they were in college. So their professor said, if you can figure this out, you'll have your Lamborghini, I think was in the early shows with me and Chris. And they're like a couple of college guys. Yeah, sure. So together, smart enough to create this dang machine that's huge. And I don't even, but when they flew me down there and we met, I took them 2 days to say, okay, we trust her. We'll let her in the lab because you got to like pass blood tests and everything. No, blood tests. But
Retinal scan. Yeah.
oh man. Yeah, I mean, and I had just come off uranium poisoning by a jerk in my garage. So, I mean, literally Friday, I was in the emergency room with an IV for 5 hours. And Monday, I was on an airplane to see Chris. And Friday, Saturday, I was like, oh God, I don't want to cancel, and I can't believe it. I was ready to go Monday, and they barely knew that I had just come out of being in an ambulance. So the ambulance brings me to the hospital. All my family shows up because I'm like, uranium poisoning, really sick, 25 pounds gone, like quickly. And this is like 2019, 5 years ago, like 2 years after the other hit. It's amazing. I'm 71 and I'm younger than I've been in a really long time. And it's this product. So, what a blessing. Chris and I are in it together. And when we met, we were yin and yang, but they have the lab. I've got a big mouth and the assertion to meet people like you and follow up, and we know there's a resonance. So, this company is really amazing for me because I know that through the testimonials, it's helping people physically, mentally, and spiritually. And at a time like this, where we are being tested to the max mentally and spiritually, I'm chilled. I'm like, dang, how can I be so chilled? And it's the Evo because I'm not a drunk or a druggie or any of that. And when the surgeons met me that I didn't choose to do my 2 operations, they looked at my x-rays and they kept looking at me. This one doctor, he brings in 2 other doctors, and they're like, we're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. We're looking at your x-rays. You've been bone on bone for years. How is it possible that you're mentally, present, like not mentally crazy, that you could have tolerated this level of pain? And then we're also saying, you don't do any drugs because obviously you're not drugged out. How are you doing this? Because your x-rays are beyond terrible. And I said, well, I wasn't in that much pain. I take this. And I've always got it in my purse, just, evidence. And of course, they're looking at it. And I said, my company, it's great. Nobel Prize, which you'd think would be some little ding ding. And they're just like still trying to say, do you think she's mentally crazy or on medications? How can she, people don't understand that when you get something that is this good of a lubricant, I can't say the I word, because we can't say those words, that it helps with inflaming things. But wow, what this did for me was it gave me 2 more years. And I bet a lot of people in your audience are dealing with a lot of bone and joint pain, or they go and work out and they feel like, ugh, after. So this is preventative. And what we're finding is that a lot of our active athletes are saying, oh, I take it before, I don't hurt anymore after. Wow, that's big. But for me to live through 2 surgeries and not hurt after and not need their pain medications other than 2 days, I'm not saying it replaces that. I'm just saying my experience was that this is all I did. I did my lubrication, my mega lubricating is the funny way to put it, because that's what it does for my joints and bones. It just keeps me moving, but my recovery is remarkable. My scars are incredible. And most people don't have to deal with stuff as heavy as I did. So everybody's got the other issues, the air, the water, the food, the plastics. I mean, the list is endless, but this is what we can do to prevent things from happening up the road, down the road, for pets also. Amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool how you were introduced to it just by, like you said, 2 hippie guys in Boulder. Like, here, try this. And then it turned into all of this. And looking into it, it's coconut oil, it's olive oil. Like, something so powerful comes from something that's not very glamorous. If this came from a rare flower at the canopy of a tree in the, Brazilian rainforest, you had to climb up there and there's only one every 10 years. You would think it would be like something from something like that, but olive oil, coconut oil, things that are very basic but very powerful.
And avocado.
And avocado, don't forget the cado, especially here
Yum.
in California. This is where all your avocados come from. But as you mentioned, and I wanted you to kind of expand on this, Chris, is it's good for pets too. It's, if you don't got to worry about you tip over a bottle or your, pet gets up there or whatever. Not only is it not going to hurt them, but it's good for them. So, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers have pets. We all know how important pets are to the family. So if there's something like this that's so beneficial to us, let us know a little bit about the ones you have that are beneficial for the pets.
Yeah, we have a pet version for dogs. It's got the essence of bacon, so it tastes like bacon, and the version for cats tastes like salmon. We love our pets. Like we collectively we love people who have pets. I always like to joke for any of your audience members who point out who have cats that we sell significantly more dog product than we do cat product. So if you kind of need to step up for your cat preference, maybe 9 lives is too much or is just enough. But yeah, we sell a lot more dog product. We love our pet testimonials. A lot of people don't think about this. Like, this is a cutting edge product, right? We've got research that extended the lives of mammals by 90% back in 2012. It was published in 2012. We're the only organization that's actually taking steps to recreate that study, right? Because that's how the scientific process is supposed to work. Somebody has a hypothesis. Ironically, in this case, the hypothesis was that it was toxic. They get a result. It was not toxic. The test subjects lived 90% longer. And then some other organization is actually supposed to redo that study. We're stepping up to redo that study. It's at least a 5-year study. We're going to make some adjustments to it. We think we can actually get it beyond 90%, which is 90% is insane. Beyond 90%, even better. So we are actually stepping up to do those things. When it comes to pets, right? So this is cutting edge, and there's more research that we're doing. When it comes to pets, there's no placebo effect, right? Your first thought when you're talking about a cutting edge supplement like this is, well, is it placebo effect, right? There is a placebo effect. It applies to everything. Just the fact that, a product says that it's good for sleep, it will in fact help you to sleep. But is it only the placebo effect, or is there an actual effect from the ingredients? With pets, there is no placebo effect. The irony is that they're not smart enough to trick themselves into going, I got that dropper in my food today, so I'm going to be more youthful today. I mean, we have one testimonial, one of our largest distributors here in Houston. Her name's Gwen. She originally bought the product just to give it to her dog. She has a Shih Tzu, and she was just going to give it to her dog. And she noticed such a profound difference in her dog that she decided that she was going to start taking it. Like, I think about that's kind of backwards. Normally it's like, this is really good for me. I want to give it to my pet. No, this was like, let me just try it on my pet. Let's see what happens. Oh my God, the Shih Tzu is running around. It's got more energy. It's not napping as much all day. It's chasing its ball. There's no placebo effect there. And then she started taking the product. So yeah, beneficial to pets. We have testimonials of, actually there's 2 kind of close to the heart testimonials. One of them, one of our team members had a cat. They'd gone to multiple vets here in Houston. One of the vets was like, we should do this test. And our team member, he was like, well, if the test is positive, what do we do? Well, there's nothing we can do. And if it's negative, well, then we just do more tests and there's not really much we can do. And he's like, well, why don't we skip the test? Because that sounds kind of expensive. And then he actually called us up and was like, yeah, we'll give you product. That was 4 years ago. That cat is still with us. And we have another similar one with the team member. The vet was like, we need to put down your cat. The cat is still with us. So we have really amazing testimonials. Again, there's no placebo effect with pets.
And that's great because we have pets for a long time. We, get them when they're little, and we grow up with them, and then they get old. And so any way that you can get a little more quality time with your pet, any more, youth you can kind of give them and more activity, that's not only great for the pet, which is number one, but it's great for the family. It might make you a little more active. It might go on a few more walks, toss a few more balls or, whatever their toy is. more time. So that's really great. And you mentioned you're in Houston. My family and I, we're moving to Texas. We'll be moving more the Dallas Fort Worth area, but we'll be in the same state. So hopefully maybe I can come by and check out the facility. That'd be really
Absolutely.
cool.
We would love to have you for
All
sure.
right. That'd be great. That's some future content there. But again, thank you guys very much. And make sure that you go to, and I'll have the link in the description box, C60EVO.com. Everything, and you can see it right over Chris's, I guess that would be his left shoulder. Check that out. Everything that you've heard from us is there, more testimonials, more information about the product. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you guys have more products coming in the future, that this is something that's going to continue to grow. And I am hoping that my family and I can be a part of it, because everybody uses it, everybody loves it. And if you guys have been with me for any length of time, you know that I'm not going to get behind something that I do not believe in. I believe that people can sniff out insincerity very easily. They can see the BS. It's like when one of your kids try to lie to you. It's painfully obvious. It's painfully obvious lying. So I believe the same thing goes for products. So the fact that I'm here, I'm behind this 100%. Wonderful product, great people. Again, I'm gonna hold you to that invite to the facility. I cannot wait. But until the next time, Patty, thank you. Chris, thank you. And we are